What's going on, YouTube? Welcome to the U.S.S. Voyager Season 1, Episode 9 tutorial. I just want to thank you very much for tuning in today's episode. If you haven't, please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, helping me and supporting the channel. I can't thank you enough for that. Today we've got a 21-minute episode. We're going to be picking up directly where we left off in Episode 8. We've got our outline in place for a lower hull. Now we're going to start cutting into it. I think at this point I'm confident. I'm not confident, but I'm happy enough with what I have that I feel like I can go with this template that we were working on in Episode 8 and seeing how it looks. So basically what we're going to be doing before I start hitting that play button, we are not going to delete the red. We're going to delete the white underneath it, but not behind it, if that makes sense. So we're going to delete this all the way going down, here all the way going down, and so on and so forth. You can see that I'm not impeding on the red blocks. I'm only deleting what's in front of it. I'm not deleting anything on that row with the red, and I'm not deleting anything behind it. Although right there, these rows right here, I should maybe be deleting those. But we'll get into that. For right now, don't worry about it. Just do it in the same way that you see me looking at the ship from a side. The side only. So those rows where there's white directly behind the red, don't worry about that. Just worry about looking at it from the side. This is our main template right now. All right. So we're looking pretty good. We've got our template cut out. Now we just need to delete the access. Before we do that, I'm going to add a lip going along our top. Now what I did here to save me time, you're probably going to notice this, that I only did my template on one side. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to take that row, I'm going to bring it straight across, and essentially I'm going to repeat the same process that I just did on the other side. But I'm using these blocks as a marker as far as where to cut into my hull on the right side of the ship. This is a way that you can cheat without having to put down that same template twice. Because this is how I look at it. We're going to be closing this in anyway. This is going to be our new front. This is eventually where the deflector dish is going to go. So this line needs to be here. So we might as well take advantage of it and use this as an indicator of what we need to get rid of on the right side of our lower hull. This is why I always say it's better to work smarter and not harder as much as we can, and just that planning ahead can help to save you from making extra steps. Now, you can always do all the planning in the world and you're still going to run into trial and error and things like that. Look, it happens. Anybody that sits there and tells me that you can do a perfect build of this scale ever without making a mistake ever, I don't believe it. I do know that I'm aware that there's people that do this stuff and they use a computer and they enter in the dimensions and the computer renders the ship for them. Those of you that do that stuff, I mean, good for you, but I mean, at the end of the day, you're not building the ship out. You're not building it. The computer's doing it for you. And it's like, oh yeah, awesome. You've got this perfect build that the computer made, and you went and you detailed it. It's not what I'm doing on my channel. All this stuff you see, I build by hand. Only thing that I have any type of assistance with is the saucer section, whether that's a circle or an oval. And that's just to make sure that the dimensions are right. But outside of anything like that, everything else you can see on here is done by hand. And it's done by myself. And doing stuff that way, I mean, if you're new to building on Minecraft, even if you're not doing like shipbuilding and stuff like that, I highly recommend getting into the building side of it, especially like if you need something to take your mind off things. Maybe you have a lot of stress going on in your life. You just need a break, and you just need some type of release from stuff that's going on. I'm telling you, you'd be surprised. Play Minecraft, maybe not the survival mode, because I'm not going to lie to you. I don't play survival on Minecraft. Literally, all I usually ever do on here is I get on and like what you guys see me doing right now. I'm building something. That's what I really enjoy to do. Um, any type of building game I can sink my teeth into. If it's something that I can get behind, I jump right into it. Those of you that have been on my channel for a while know that I also play uh, Planet Coaster and Ark Survival Evolved. I used to play Starship Evo, but I had stopped playing that game for a while as I was waiting for them to put out more content. And I just actually had somebody reach out to me because somebody took my U.S.S. Revengeance build and they stole it and they uploaded it as their own. And I'm not playing Starship Evo anymore until they fix that. I've already reported the guy, and like it blows my mind too because you can clearly see that they stole my build. I uploaded mine like 2 years before this guy just decided to take it, and I have my file uploaded so that people can download it. On top of that, I've got a tutorial so that people can go on and they can build this thing themselves, and this guy felt the need to just go and just try to steal my build. I don't understand stuff like that. But until the Steam decides to do something about that, I want nothing to do with Starship Evo. I can't believe that that happened and that they're just letting that stay up there. But anyway, it is what it is. Minecraft has been my main building game as far as the ships go. So maybe it's just going to work out that way. Maybe I bit off more than I can chew with Starship Evo, and it's just maybe that's just things lining up, kind of telling me that I didn't need to worry about that game to begin with. We're looking pretty good here. We're almost at the bottom. You can tell I've been avoiding building stuff out live if we're repeating the same process over and over again, unless I feel that it's something that could be difficult where people can make a mistake. That's why right here you can see that I'm adding all these lines. I'm doing this live for the people that need it. Now, when we're adding like layers to our saucer and stuff like that, I'm not going to be doing that stuff out live. If you're paying attention to what I'm doing, there's no reason for me to have to do that. But here, I can kind of see where somebody could make a mistake. So that's why I'm doing this all out live. It is going to blow up my episode a little bit, but it is what it is. That's something that I don't want you guys to worry about. If I sense that there is an area that I'm working on that somebody might have a problem with it, I'm going to build it out live. If I wasn't going to already. Because at the end of the day, I want to try to get you guys to the point that you can build this ship. And I really don't want to waste my time of taking all this time to build this ship out and people can't even do it. And you see down here we're just going in one in with a cut, and that's looking pretty good. So we've got our new front. Now we just got to get rid of the access. We don't need to do that live. We're going to do that off camera. But now what we are going to do, we're going to go along our outline for our front with the gray concrete. And again, we are just going along the initial angle that it's in right now. Going with our cut line, just following the side. Now we're probably going to have to make some changes to this. Especially when you get down here. You can see these blocks, they're divided up because they're going in enough. We can't continue that template. So that's going to be something that we're going to have to address. Now, from the side, this template doesn't look bad. It looks fantastic. Well, doesn't look fantastic. It looks as good as it can get. What I've found with this template, going with a pattern of 2 going down, it looks great at the side, but not so much from the front. Um, I don't know even how I still currently feel about that. I had a similar issue with the Excelsior 2 class, where I noticed that some of my templates that I had used in the past, I was not able to use them for the lower section of the lower hull. I had a similar issue with Voyager. Um, but this is ultimately why why I'm trying to build out a lot of these ships, because I don't want to get too complacent with just doing the same thing over and over again. I wanted to build in the next generation era because I felt like that had some of the coolest and also hardest ships to build. And I wanted to challenge myself and learn how to be a better builder on here. And the best way to do that is sometimes it is through trial and error, just trying out different things. It's like, okay, does this work? Does it not work? If it doesn't work, what do you have to do to fix it? Um, Sometimes you're not going to follow on these solutions right away. So I say sometimes if you're getting frustrated and you don't know what you need to do, take a break. Step away from it, work on something else. This is one of the reasons I have my Enterprise D set up the way that I do, because I'm not always working on the Enterprise D. I'm only working on the Enterprise D as a side passion project, either when I get bored or I get tired of working on my active build. I'm not saying that the Enterprise D has to be your side project, but what I'm saying is pick a side project if you enjoy building on Minecraft, but pick something else on top of what your main build is. So this way, once you get tired, like as an example of working on Voyager, I could pop over and I can work on the Enterprise D um, until I figure out what I want to do with Voyager. And the same thing with the Excelsior. I've actually found this to be, it's worked out really well. I've actually been getting on Minecraft a lot more, which is why I have all these upcoming builds. Like if you go on my Discord under my upcoming builds, I have like 15 new builds that I've established and I am going to do. I'm not going to go through the whole list. If you want to see what I am going to do, be sure to join the Discord. But there's a ton of stuff on there that I have not talked about on my YouTube. Um, but I need a ton of build ideas from you guys. What I specifically need is small ship build ideas. So if there's any, or just small builds in general, doesn't have to be a ship, it can be anything nerd related. But try to keep it down to a build that I can do in one episode. Now please, take into account I can't build out like the U.S.S. Vengeance in one episode. That's not realistic. I'm talking about a small in size build that I can do in one episode. I've got some stuff up on my Discord. That's what a lot of things that I had actually added on to my upcoming builds was a lot of smaller builds, because I want to be able to put out multiple things for you guys while I'm working on my active, ongoing current series. Right now it's Voyager. Once we're done with Voyager, we're going to be doing the Excelsior 2. Eventually the Enterprise D is going to come out, Season 2. We'll see about Voyager Season 2. I've been getting some positive feedback on that. Some people have let me know that they do want to see it. But that's going to be a wait and see. I'm not going to say yes. I'm not going to say no to it until Season 1 is all said and done. And then I can actually go through and look through the comments to see how many people are actually asking me to do it. There's a reason I'm going to be doing stuff like this going forward. I'd actually had somebody ask me the other day, they're like, hey, I want you to do this for me specifically. Can you do this build? And I tried to explain to them, I'm like, I have a lot of people asking me to build stuff on Minecraft. A lot of people. A lot of them actually want totally different things. There are some people that want the same thing. But the reason I don't take personal requests is that I'd be working forever to try to make people happy with that, because you've got so many people asking for something. it makes it impossible to really sustain that and to give that. So the only thing that I can really do at that point is the way that I have it set up right now with my polls. People can go on and they can ask as far as what stuff they want to see me do under Discord or to build suggestions, but basically, just don't ask me to do a specific build for you, and please don't throw money in my face and think that if you say that I'm just going to do it. I do these things specifically this way for a reason, because I build these ships and all these builds because I enjoy it. It's fun. And the way I have it with the voting system, it's a great way for me to see, or the suggestion tab so people can vote. It's a great way for me to see what people want. Um, but yeah, it kind of is what it is. There's going to be community builds that we do on the YouTube. Voyager is the first community build. There will be others, and then there's going to be builds that I'm passionate about. Because at the end of the day, um, I build on here on Minecraft because I enjoy it, and I want to be able to do stuff that I'm passionate about. Now, with that being said, believe it or not, I am paying attention to what you guys are saying. And there are some times where people might suggest something, and it's like, ooh, that's actually a pretty good idea. I'm going to kind of keep that in the back of my head, maybe for something that I might do down the road. There's actually one of the builds that I am going to talk about. I don't have a date on when it's coming out, but one of the ships that I've had quite a few people ask me over the period that I've been working on, or I've been having videos out on YouTube, was the U.S.S. Defiant. The Defiant was a small enough build that I felt that I could do that in maybe a couple of episodes, maybe. So that's going to be one of the ships, one of the builds that I am going to do. I have it listed as one of my upcoming builds, but I don't have a date for it yet. We're just kind of playing it by ear at this point. But I want to, if I can do what I want to do with the Defiant, I don't know if I'll be able to do it in a single episode. I'll have to jump into it and see how that turns out. But I'm really going to try to plan ahead as much as I can with that to try to narrow down as to eliminate as many changes as I can with it, because I know that that's something that people have wanted. But yeah, like that's what I say, like don't, if I don't build the stuff that you're suggesting, don't take that as discouraging, because it's kind of like with any YouTube like that does something similar to this. You have people that they vote on stuff, they have stuff that they want to see, but the only logical thing that you can do is just go with the majority of what people want. Otherwise, it's impossible to get all that stuff out. So that's why I have things set up the way that I do. And I think that it's going to work, that it's been working out pretty good so far. And there's been decent interest in my channel. It's been growing. I can't believe the rate that my channel's been climbing, because I mean we're right around the corner to hitting 1,000. Those of you that want the U.S.S. Enterprise A tutorial, I mean we're almost right there. Once we hit 1,000, I'm going to be doing it. So if that's something you want to see, and you want to see it relatively soon, help me out. Share my YouTube. Ask your friends to join. Anything that you can do to help get me some more subscribers, because once we hit once we hit 1,000, I am going to be putting out that tutorial to show you guys how to do it. It'll be the Enterprise A 1.1. I've got a couple of videos up on my YouTube. I've got concept art. There were a couple of discussion videos. If you go on my YouTube and go on my playlists, you'll see the Enterprise A 1.1. You can also see that same stuff on my Discord. I have that up there as well. And the Enterprise A 1.1 is basically a remake of the Enterprise A that I did, which was a refit of the Star Trek Beyond Enterprise A. I went back and I added in even more elements from the original Enterprise A, and I think that it's, put it this way, like if I was the person that was producing the Star Trek movies, as far as the Kelvin timeline goes, that's how I would make the Enterprise look. I think it looks freaking awesome. So I'm really looking forward to that. But anyway, getting back into a little bit what we got going on here. Now we're adding that second lip, or I'm at least doing a first round template to see how that second lip is going to look, because now the hard thing with Voyager with the lower hull, because the fact that she's going at an inward cut angle, it's going to be somewhat of a challenge to add layering to that. Well, let me rephrase. It won't be hard to add layering to it, but this next row that sits directly behind it, it also goes at an angle. And for whatever reason, I had a little bit of trouble getting that where I needed it exactly, if that makes sense. So really what I'm just doing here is I'm trying to use a similar template to what I had with the front, and repeating that same thing over again to see if I can maybe reuse that. Because sometimes one of the best things to do is, again, don't make it harder than it has to be. If we can adopt the template that we have for the outline of the front, why can't, and especially if it's going at the same angle, why can't we do that for the back row? Or excuse me, the next line that we're adding here. Now I will say, I think that if I remember right, we're going to do like a template for this, for like this next row here, but we're not going to do too much with it at this point until later on. If I'm not mistaken, from here we're going to move on and really develop out the rest of the ship, because one of the things that's kind of been slowing us down right now was kind of two things. Getting the dimensions right for the front of the lower hull and then the sides. It's important to do this. Again, I can't stress that enough, because even if you have it down like I thought I did, we're going to be coming back again, because again, I realized that Voyager, she ended up being just a little bit too hefty on the sides. And it's just one of those things. Sometimes you won't notice it until you fill in your wireframe. It's almost impossible to notice, because you can try to envision it all you want, but until you kind of get that built out and everything, you won't really notice it too much. But that's what's been kind of holding us up at this point. And I don't want to say holding us up, but it's been slowing us down to a point where I've been having to take a little bit more time on certain areas. But this is all worth it, because in the grand scheme of it, we're basically setting the groundwork so now that we can just get in a position where we can just start filling stuff in and really start to get that gratifying feeling of finishing Voyager, really. You'll be surprised, like we're going to get to a point relatively soon where we're going to have another burst in progression, because in the first couple of episodes we got a lot done. And then, once we got into like episode 5, 6, we slowed down just a little bit because we had to make some adjustments here and there. And we're making those final adjustments here. We've kind of got things starting to line up where we want it to. So now we can go back and we can, or not necessarily go back, but we can continue on to really start rocking and rolling here. But this angle here in the front doesn't look too bad. She's looking pretty good. I'm pretty happy with what we got going on here. But anyway, if there's any questions you have regarding today's episode, drop a comment below. Definitely love hearing from everybody. If there's any builds that you want to see me do, be sure to drop a comment below or join the Discord and click on build suggestions. But bear in mind, I really need ideas for small builds that I can do in one episode. If you guys can help me out with that, I can't thank you enough for that. Please comment below. Also, don't forget, we've got Voyager Season 2 potentially coming up, so if that's something that you want to see, if you want to see the interior fleshed out on this ship, you need to let me know about it. Also, following Voyager, we've got the Excelsior 2 class tutorial coming up. Also, the Enterprise D Season 2. That will be coming up in the near future. And then once we hit 1,000 subscribers, we've got the Enterprise A 1.1 tutorial. So I'm really looking forward to that. But anyway, I think that's going to wrap it up for me today. I just want to thank you all again for tuning in today's episode. And I hope everybody has a happy and safe week. And what did you make in Minecraft today? Let me know in the comments section.